Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John's report. It's for the 18th. Well, it's all about the rate excitement here. 50 basis point versus 25 versus Elizabeth Warren's suggestion of 75 basis point cut. All of it ridiculous given the deficits they're running and what it would mean to devaluation. But real economics don't seem to matter anymore, and they haven't for some time. So we just continue to play what is. And the reality is that anything less than 50 is going to be net market negative because they're expecting so much. The reality is got one directional focus because you're not going to invest in treasuries because the yield is ridiculously low relative to inflation. So you're looking at negative yields that forces you into the market. Interestingly, though, the NASDAQ can't seem to get past this resistance range, and now you have MBI weight in the lead on this. And if things come up short, yeah, it could be a significant run, particularly if by the time we reach the 50, we've dropped below. Well, even if we get down towards the 25, it could be very quick. You're seeing a spider develop potentially right here with the uncertainty, and if shakeout moves more into the negative, it never got to positive on the Nasdaq. So it's an interesting one because the S&P and Nasdaq are not performing the same in either of these. Either way, Treasury's so out of whack with reality that that's not really a play. Um, the fact that oil had been lower but has moved right to that danger point above 70, and I think that you're uh, back to where we were. Nothing really has changed all that much. You're not going to see deflationary situation at all. Um, and with that being the reality, you get bonuses for the euro again, and it's going to continue to rise. Their expectations, the dollar is going to continue to decline if this is the Fed change in policy moving towards softening within a weak economy with massive spending. And this is the interesting with the deficits you're getting and the lack of economic activity. It's just counterproductive in a 100% kind of way. And that means only one direction for gold. Yes, it'll move back and forth, but broadly going to be higher. There's just no other way around it. I mean, control it to some point, but you can see they've already caught China buying record amounts of gold in the Switzerland. That was not very widely reported, but they were buying like 160 tons privately. But this is where central banks are just loading up on it. Bitcoin, of course, obviously, like we talked about, is going to do well within that. Yes, it's going to have its normal fluctuations. No surprise with any of that. The interesting one is ETH has been lagging right behind, still stuck in its regulatory purgatory. Okay, my 50K on that version not showing up because TS keeps going up and down. But when we look at it from a alternative pink bar view, you can see that midday we caught the sub configuration, dropped below the 25, and started to break down below support at that particular stage. MBI white started to take a stronger lead. You still have plenty of support with magenta holding the situation in place overall. Here we are in post market for the euro, and it's well, at least the EU market. If we go back to yesterday's action, it was kind of a up and down sort of mix. If I can get my chart to slide, not being cooperative. Um, the reality of it is we're just going to end up with this back and forth malaise until there's a resolution on that. And even if there is, you have the election situation, and that's becoming more cloudy by the day, which is expected. And so that upside pressure really kind of builds quietly. All right, here we go for our intraday. So we started off the morning. Oh, no, that's way too far. Let's try it again. There we go. Sorry for that. TS has been giving me all sorts of issues recently. Um, Early morning push, and then boom, faded, brought it back up in the middle range. Again, it's about option plays and having to cover that situation. I think that volatility remains, which is fine for us. We don't care. Just play it as it is. Anything relevant, I will certainly put on the Skype chat, but we'll just keep following it. But uh, just don't see how the Fed does anything more than a quarter, and even that's ridiculous as it is. I know it's helpful to people in the real world, but from the broader stroke, it is far more damaging. Really going into the depth of that, we can always discuss that later when things are quiet. As always, though, put it on the Skype chat. Have a good one. Trade well.